Aaron Rodgers, he one of the few, we'll just say it, one of the few white quarterbacks that seems to speak up for social issues, you know what I'm saying, for the black community. With what was happening with Colin Kaepernick and things like that, is that something, as we saying this now, was he always somebody like that was 100 with y'all in the locker room? Because, us from the outside, we don't see too many people that seem to be allies and wanting to put their arm around our shoulder unless we out there, doing something for them. When we have our pain. My fiance, her father was killed by the police.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, I literally, a month ago, she's in tears. I'm like, oh yeah, it's the anniversary.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when we see an athlete that's not from where we from speaking up for that, that means something. You know what I'm saying? So is that something that you saw on the inside that he was 100? And is it something where you're not so shocked by the way, Kaepernick has been treated with everything?
I'm not shocked by the way Kaepernick's treated. And also, I think from some standpoints, you got to realize this. Aaron's a cool dude, but Aaron's held to a higher pedestal than most because of who he is. So do we know if his actions are truly genuine or he's just doing it to be politically correct? Who knows?
Gotcha.
I think just from knowing him on the standpoint of being in the locker room with him, I hated Aaron. He gave me hell, but he gave me hell because he thought I was good. You know what I'm saying? And
Gotcha.
I had a real in-depth conversation with Aaron one time when I was actually struggling, and he kind of made everything fall into place for me, and then I respected him a lot differently from that. But from the standpoint of Colin Kaepernick, and I tell people this all the time, would I kneel if I was still in the NFL? I absolutely wouldn't. I think this, and this is just my personal opinion, people could be mad at me if they want to or not. It's either you stand for something or fall for everything, but at the same exact time, you have to be careful about how you relay your messages, and I think that Lil Wayne said something. I'm watching an interview after George Floyd died, and he was just like, why am I going to walk around wearing a shirt? And I'm thinking to myself like, damn. But then he said, well, what is that going to change? What is me go screaming at somebody's doorstep going to change? That doesn't change anything. That makes everything absolutely worse.
Right.
So you have to be cognizant of the way that you present yourself if you want to change things. The moment they start protesting and all the rioting, especially with the quarantine thing, you couldn't tell the difference between a protester, a murderer, a looter. You didn't know. Everybody was just going fucking crazy. You know what I'm saying? But what did that change? That ain't changed shit. We still sitting in the same predicament that we was when it all happened. You know what I'm saying? So to me, I think that you just have to be careful. Now, I think the way that Aaron actually presented the situation with the Green Bay Packers that one year where they actually linked hands, but nobody kneeled. I think that was a smart maneuver because you letting people know that you stand exactly for everything that the black community or what Colin Kaepernick had to go through, but you're not going to disrespect the people that stood for something for the flag. So you have to understand that there's two ways to go about it. I can't disrespect the people that saved my country, but I cannot ignore the things that happen to the black community. And I think that was the smartest maneuver for him. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So it just depends. It really depends on the person and how you go about doing things. But me personally, I think that Kaepernick, he did it, and I think it has to be that person. It's always somebody, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Colin Kaepernick, whatever the case may be. But then everybody that surrounds the situation, you have to be smart enough to make sure that you respond in the right way. And that's just what I try to do. Like I said, there's a way to be politically correct and not be disrespectful at the same time.
You're very detailed, like you said before.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I can't.
No, you understand how important it is, though. You know what I mean? It's something that if maybe Kaepernick chose to do it that way, it would have probably been more understood. You know what I mean? I never thought of that, but since you breaking it down, I'm like, dang, that makes sense. And maybe we could have avoided a lot of hate and conflict just by that minor detail, which would have been, it was really big, though.
Right. Yeah. So it's just kind of whatever. It's easy to talk in hindsight, but when it's all going on, like I said, you have to learn how to step back and not use your emotions for everything. You have to get back down to the facts. But what's really going to make a change versus I'm emotionally just lashed out because I'm emotional.